welcome to our video of the Out on Display Guide. I'm Alice Power and I'm co-chair of the V&A's LGBTQ working group.
Hi, I'm Denvo and I look after the LGBTQ plus tours here. We've usually got a bunch of wonderful volunteers who take you on the tours, but today we're going to take you onto the LDF, the London Design Festival tour. So here we go! We're in the South Asian sculptures now, and right now I'd love to show you one of my favourite pieces. This is Athanashvara the Lord, who is also a woman. So on one side you see there's a feminine body, and then on the other side there's a masculine body. It's Shiva and Parvati coming together. This sacred object shows us that in the past, centuries ago, there's always been a great indication that there is gender diversity in the past, and for me it's a really beautiful piece to come and see. For a sacred object, this is incredibly sensual. It is gorgeous to look at. It is also, I think, rather androgynous as well. The story of Athanashvara is really interesting. The being starts off in India, travels over the Himalayas into China, and then eastward into Japan, Korea, Vietnam. The Lord of Compassion in that journey becomes Guanyin, the goddess of mercy. So I think it's really interesting when we bring trans and non-binary people to see this particular object, and you say, what do you see? What gender do you see? What's really interesting is that they kind of see both genders, neither gender, but also when we look at this being, we also have to transcend gender, because in order to reach nirvana, you have to let go of such worldly thoughts. It's also really powerful, I think, to bring in trans and non-binary communities and our community and look at a piece like this, and then sort of remind ourselves that we must act with compassion. Every day we should act with love and compassion, and this is our reminder, and it's really remarkable to have this here.
So one thing that the V&A doesn't have any shortage of is depictions of masculine strength and classical depictions of conflict. And one example is here of this bronze from the 16th century of Antinous and Hercules engaged in a sort of bear hug during a fight. So Hercules here is lifting up Antinous in order to remove his strength, which comes from the earth. But it also gives us a moment to look at their physique and their interaction of their bodies. So although this is, a very typical scene amongst many collections, certainly in the 18th and 19th centuries, increasingly men who were interested in other men started to collect these and hold them in their private collections. Jarman is very well known as a filmmaker, but in the early part of his career he did do some set model design and theatre costume design. And one such example is this incredible set for Don Giovanni at Sadler's Wells. Looking at the set, you can kind of see Derek Jarman's interest in architecture and gardening, which followed him throughout his career, and these kind of bold abstract shapes, which really informed a kind of sense of drama to the already incredibly dramatic opera. So Derek Jarman is better known for some of his films like Sebastian and Caravaggio, which didn't shy away from homosexual themes, and he certainly was very vocal throughout his life for campaigns for LGBTQ rights, and towards the end of his life he was particularly open about his struggle with an AIDS-related illness, the cause of which was actually degenerating his eyesight, which led to his final film Blue, which talked a lot about the stigma and discrimination of going through life as somebody who's HIV positive. So here we have probably the most obvious depiction of romantic relationship between women in our galleries, and it's in Rodin's Metamorphoses of Ovid here in the Sculpture Gallery. So the Metamorphoses of Ovid offers up loads of interpretations about gender and sexuality, many of which are kind of fluid and not so strictly defined. But for this depiction, Rodin has chosen to depict the figures of Iphis and Ianthe as two women kissing in an embrace. Thank you so much for joining us today for this video and seeing just some of the many, many LGBTQ objects in our collection. If you want to see more, you can find out on the display guide on the V&A website.
So come to the museum, come visit us, and then go have a look at this crowd, because there are so many to see across place, time and culture. It is LGBTQ plus narratives that we're celebrating. And so, happy LDF!